Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina,
This is Movie Masala.
and we're here to yap at you about films we've watched recently.
And today we're doing Caught Stealing.
Such a nice small town boy.
You like baseball, dogs.
I need you to take care of my cat.
Where's Russ?
He's not here.
You know not to mess with us, yes?
What did you get me into?
They're scary monsters, and you're their fall guy.
That's not.
So basically, I was checking what films do I have to watch this Friday? Like, what do I have available? And I saw Caught Stealing is out, which is a film by Darren Aronofsky, who people will know from films like Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, The Whale, Mother, The Wrestler, like genuinely really critically acclaimed films.
Yeah, you say Darren Aronofsky and a certain image pops up in your head. It's probably not an image of him because I'm not sure what he looks like, but it's a certain vibe.
Yeah. Then it's also the cast of this film, right? It has Austin Butler. It has Zoe Kravitz. It has Regina King. It has Matt Smith. It has Liv Schreiber, Vincent D'Onofrio. It has Bad Bunny. It is stacked, right? So
Yeah.
this is why this is so surprising to me that this film feels the most generic thing that I have seen from Darren Aronofsky. No, actually, let me hold back. This feels like one of the most generic films I've seen in a cinema lately. Full stop.
Oh no. It's I don't want to say mean things about Austin Butler, but it's just if we can insert mean things about Austin Butler here. But anyway, continue. I want to know why. I want to know if he played a part in this.
Okay, so it basically follows this ex-baseball player, Hank, who's again plays by Austin Butler, who like I think is a bartender and stuff and gets involved into like this whole thing because his neighbor, played by Matt Smith, Russ, who plays like a very London punk, think mohawk, leather jacket, everything with the accent. It's set
Sure.
in the 90s as well, right? Basically gives him a keys, be like, hey, my dad has a stroke, I need to leave. And then people start hunting down Russ. Hank gets involved, and so does Zoe Kravitz's character, Yvonne. And then basically it's kind of a hijinks ensues and you get to know more of what's happening and what is up and everything, right? And the thing is, when this film starts, it just feels so like, when I say generic, I don't also just mean like the plot is not substantially different or anything. What I mean is also, it just feels everyone is putting in such a generic role effort. Like the dialogue feels like it's written by someone who's making this film for Netflix.
Right.
Like, honestly, I could hear the same dialogue come out of something like Red Notice, right? On Netflix, or like Grey Man, whatever that was.
Sure. So with the cast and the director that it has, it did not live up to a single standard.
Yes, exactly. Like, again, if I had encountered this film on Netflix, I'd be like, yeah, it's perfectly serviceable. But again, I got it from Darren Aronofsky. And by the end, when I finish like a bit more of like telling you what this film is, there's another director that will very specifically come into your head. Okay. So basically, again, the film goes on, and like Austin Butler, you see him going through alcohol addiction and going through his past of like how a car crash ruined his career, yada yada.
Sure. I mean,
And again, there's a scene where he's told that he can't be drinking anymore because his kidneys get ruptured, and like he has to quit alcohol, and it never feels like it's that big of a deal because it's established he likes drinking, but it never really feels like this is his whole life before that moment, because there's only two real scenes of him drinking, and one of them is after that whole thing ends and basically kicks off another inciting incident for the plot to go further, right?
so basically what I'm hearing is nothing about the plot makes you go, yay. Nothing about you keeps you emotionally invested in the plot, first of all, and the characters.
Exactly. It's just the performances also feel like so like
Bland.
bland. Yeah, the performances feel like bland. And it's obviously because, like, again, I think personally, I know you've teed up like negative thoughts about Austin Butler, but I don't think Austin Butler is a bad actor. I think he can
Okay.
act really well when he's directed well in roles as well. Like, I enjoyed him as Elvis in Baz Luhrmann, Elvis, right? I think Zoe Kravitz, again, would be hard to argue that is not a good actress. Matt Smith also, honestly, still in this film might be the most entertaining person. Maybe aside from Lee Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio, I think because of their role specifically, they're chewing scenery really well and are doing that part really well, so really fun.
I feel like Matt Smith is just an entertainer in most of the roles I've seen him, even when he's doing really serious dramatic roles. He's enjoyable to watch because it feels like he's having fun doing his lines.
Yeah, 100%. Like he was entertaining in Morbius. Morbius, right? Because he was just okay having fun there. It's just, and I've seen Bad Bunny do better acting on SNL. I cannot lie. It just feels like, yes, these are talented people. So even their like baseline is good, but I've seen better performances out of almost every single cast member. There's nothing much to it. It basically, then the film just goes into this kind of heist plot where then there's crooked cops and then like you're trying to find this key and like where's the money and trying to get this money. And by the end, I'm like, wait, why is Darren Aronofsky directing a Guy Ritchie movie?
Fair. It sounds kinda Ocean's 11-y.
I wouldn't say Ocean's 11. I would like you to think of things like any Jason Statham movie where he himself is taking down an organization, kind of also around similar routes like that. Like basically, seemingly normal person gets involved in huge thing and has to like single-handedly take down crime ring kind of movie, right? Again,
Sure.
feels very Guy Ritchie. I've seen this other places as well, but it feels very Guy Ritchie. And even if it doesn't feel Guy Ritchie to you, because I understand that one person doesn't own a genre, it still doesn't feel like anything else he's directed in a long while.
It feels like he was trying out something new and it missed.
I can 100% say that. Like, I'm happy for someone to try something new, man. Go for it. Obviously, always rather have someone take a shot and miss rather than no one take any interesting shots at all. And again, a lot of people have enjoyed this film. A lot of people really enjoyed this film with everything. It just did not connect with me because it just never felt like it was doing anything at all really interesting, or the plot was going in a place where it felt exciting. It just felt so paint by numbers to me, where I'm like, yeah, of course that would happen. Yeah, of course that would happen. Yeah. And even like, again, the more personal pathos that like Austin Butler's character Hank has, it just never feels that grandiose in any way. And I did enjoy more towards like, I feel like the latter 30 minutes of this film. And honestly, if I'm being very mean to this film, I can also say that honestly, out of this 1 hour, 40 minute something film, even if you watch the last 45 minutes, you should be fine. You'll get most of the film that you have enough realistically.
Okay. I don't think that's being
Yeah.
too mean. I think that is very fair and that could be said about a lot of films. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I honestly think those last parts are the best parts of this film. Because again, then they actually start making this more about specifically how Hanks as a character he makes his decisions and stuff like that, which is a bit more interesting. But still, again, and nothing in his journey as well felt like, again, just generic again, keeps the words coming because it's just so like nothing specific. Just feels like it has nothing it's trying to say. And which is, again, it can just be a fun, like romp type film, but it just feels like I'm pretty sure I could find a film with this, a very similar plot and like honestly, a very similar direction and like everything as well. Again,
Fair.
honestly, one of my favorite parts was Lee Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio playing these two Hasidic Jews who are also like mercenaries, because genuinely they're just being very fun in the role and are much more fun and entertaining. So when I say again, Guy Ritchie, this is what I mean. Like these very specific characters who have their own like very specific ways of talking and like jobs, hit jobs, and the violence is kind of comedic. That's what I mean. But I don't know, man. Like just the sheer talent on display and the director on display just makes me go like, I wish this film was more, you know? It's also based on a book by Charlie Houston, if I'm correct, who also wrote the script for this film as well. Again, this is me making pure assumptions, okay? This is me just making an assumption in the wind, which is just like, I think this is one of those books that you just pick up at the airport and you read on the plane and you forget by the time you reach your hotel.
I know exactly what you mean. And as someone who loves those books, not so sure I would be that invested in the film.
So that's it. And lastly, the editor of this film is Andrew Weissbaum, who has edited for Wes Anderson, who was also the editor for The Whale and Black Swan. So, and Tick Tick Boom, whose editing I really, really enjoyed. So again, I'm just like, why does this film feel so nothing to me?
Fair.
So those are our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. If you enjoyed this, please do share it. See you again next time.
Bye-bye.